Well, my internet went down for a little bit. Hopefully we're back. Actually, instead of the music, which, I mean, this music's great, by the way. Maybe instead of this, let's watch the... Yeah, I have this open.
Hold that thought! Fire sale! House! The taste of the full course! I can do this all day!
Feel heaven drop! Thunder and lightning!
You can already see how much slower it is than Marvel 3. Like this type of thing here. This like push block situation. Like the jab, that push block is so much slower than Marvel 3. That's new. And I used to think this UI was like not... I used to not think it was that bad, but the more I look at it, the more I think it's actually pretty bad. It looks so mobile-y, like it doesn't look like a AAA title or like a console title, this UI. And these bars are so short. I don't know, these bars being short really makes me think of a mobile title. Like, yeah, I wish these bars were a bit more stylish or something. I don't know. Wish the fonts were different, maybe. I don't know what exactly. What do I think about Infinite? That's an interesting question. I hope it's good, but I'm expecting the worst. It looks kind of like a budget title to me. And I think like these graphics are not stylish at all. So I think they're like reusing assets but not in the right way. And I'm nervous that that also means that the rest of the game will be the same. That the rest of the game will be budgety. In particular, I'm worried about the netcode, because that means that Street Fighter V's netcode is likely to be what they'll use, because they won't invest money in new netcode. So, I don't know. what that means, right? Maybe if the netcode's garbage, then it's that's such a shame. Yeah, I saw that filter. I agree, it looks a lot better. It looks more like a comic book. These are comic book heroes, you know, superheroes. It should look like a stylish sort of comic book like that. Ultron looks like a mix between Nova and Iron Man. It looks really Nova-like to me. And I don't like how slow that KO is. I don't know. I'm a big fan of like really cool KOs in games. Like the older games like Alpha 3 and stuff had really cool KOs. I thought Marvel 3 had a pretty cool one. This one is just not. It's like really long. Remember, you'll be seeing a KO every match, so this is something that has to be snappy and quick and like exciting. The echo is cool, but look how long this delay is. Like now, it's like, come on, guy, let's go, let's get a next match. I don't know. And these combos, I don't know, compare this to like Chris's Rekka combos in Marvel 3. It's like, that's so slow. But with no assists, every character will probably have an OTG by themselves. Like you can see, like this type of Hulk combo in Marvel 3 needed an assist to pick up. Not here, but like this knockdown, he couldn't pick that up on his own without like a super or an assist, a ground bounce assist. And you see how that says auto combo there? You see that? This auto combo? I'm guessing that's like the easy mode combos. Like you can set it up to play easy, and then you press like one sequence of buttons, and it will do the jump MMHS or whatever. I think this is probably where the people were scared of the down inputs for sure. You can. My guess is that this auto combo is going to be a thing for beginner players, but you don't have to use it. You can turn it off. There's the tag, right? And it didn't cost meter to tag, hey? There must be a timer, though. Lock him in the box. This is a cool effect. I like this effect. Yeah, but you can see the Marvel combos that used to use assists for ground bounce and wall bounce and like OTGs and stuff. It looks like most characters will have tools that just do that for them by themselves because you can't use assists in this game. Which is a bit of a shame, probably, because I think that if you have like team composition is really cool in Marvel. You can be like, oh, I want this character that has a really good assist for combos, but he has a crappy neutral assist, and that affects your team composition and your strategy. If every character can do everything, and then you tag to another character that can do everything, I don't know, team composition might be less important. Like if you think about team composition in another tag game like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, it was kind of not really that important. Most characters went well with every other character. There was like some people had like particularly good tag moves that you could tag in, and then they synergized with another particular move that the incoming character had. But in general, like I could just pick my two favorite characters, and then they would be more or less like they would be synergized 90% of the time. And I don't like this down here. This font looks like the Star Wars font or something. I don't know. It looks underwhelming. It looks like somebody designed this down without looking at the rest of the game and then slapped it on top of the UI.
Ready. Fight.
Guess there's the switch, right? Oh no, that was the yeah, Chris is on Ultron's team. This is the 2-bar combo breaker that they have. So you can see he has 2 bars here, and Chris is on Ultron's team who's getting hit. And counter switch, and then he spends 2 bars, so this is 0 now. And he comes in and interrupts the combo. So it's like an expensive switch that you can do to break a combo, I guess. I wonder what this does. Does this slow the opponent down? Looks like you can teleport. They like that OTGs for some reason, just because she needs OTG from that range because assists won't do it. This is active switch. Looks like she cancels a move into it, like cross second, but it doesn't cost a bar, so. See, this combo looks so much worse than Marvel 3. Chris had some of the most stylish combos in Marvel 3, I thought. This gunshot magnum stuff it looks so cool. But this looks like it's like, I don't know. Yeah, it says easy hyper combo there. So yeah, he probably has like a 1-button super in this easy mode. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hopeful that it's good. I'm hopeful that it's a fun combo game. Like, first and foremost, I want it to be fun in training mode to find combos and watch combo videos. I think the gems will help for that. Like, maybe there will be, you know, combos that you can do with certain gems that you can't do with others. That sounds neat. It looks like this is an Ultra combo, though. It's the same meter as Ultra, so maybe you get it by taking damage, so you can't always have access to it. The one thing I'm nervous about the graphics. I think they're very mobile-like, but if you play on PC, people will find mods, so maybe it's not so bad, you know. I don't know. In tournaments, nobody will play with mods on those, so I don't know. They need to find a better art direction. Maybe it's too late for that. But I think the gameplay might be neat, even though it's quite a bit slower than Marvel 3. And maybe that will be a bad thing, because we need a couple fast games in the scene. Not everything can be slow and super easy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hopeful. As long as the netcode is good, which maybe it won't be, but as long as the netcode is good, then we're kind of in there, I guess. Oh well. So I wanted to talk about, let's go on to like the actual KI stream. I'm going to talk about this Thompxson versus Raven as Raw set today. So I've actually done Thompxson versus Base. So it was a Jago versus Spinal set a couple months ago. So this is kind of a not a new matchup for my channel, but this is a matchup that I think a lot of people in the KI scene know, because there's a lot of Jagos and a lot of Spinals. So it's always interesting to watch good level play, even if you know the matchup. So we're going to talk about it today, just see how it goes. I will try to not be as rambly as last time. No promises, because I'm still kind of new at it, but we'll see if I can improve my pace a little bit and maybe finish the stream without going to 3 in the morning. I also wanted to start a little earlier tonight. Normally I start at like 10 or 11 local time, so in like an hour or two, but I'll start a little earlier today, so maybe some East Coast players can tune in without totally ruining their schedules. But as usual, this will be on YouTube after this is done. And a shout out to, I wanted to say, because I haven't talked about this since maybe several months ago, but I wanted to thank Base for posting this content. So all my analysis streams so far have been from content posted to Base's YouTube channel, which is stuff he streams. He streams these things called group sets, where 2 people can just ask to play on his stream, and he will stream it and then upload it to YouTube in first to 10. So definitely go check out Base's YouTube and his stream as well. He's now, I think, largely streaming Street Fighter V when he plays, but still will post KI sets on occasion. So big thanks to him for continuing to post content and giving us cool stuff to talk about. So I haven't given him credit. I forgot to give him credit in my last stream, and maybe even the stream before that. So yeah, definitely go check out Base's channel. Okay, so let's go. So Raven, so these players don't need too much of an introduction. Thompxson was the tournament force last year, got 3rd, I believe, at World Cup this year, losing to, he lost to the eventual champion, Sleep, and 2nd place, Storm. So he did pretty good. And Raven is, as always, he won the Cross-Up League, which just finished maybe last week or so. So he's definitely a tournament veteran. And he did well at KI World Cup in 2016, and he got 9th at EVO. And I don't know how he did. I'm drawing a blank on how he did at this year's World Cup, but definitely a strong player. And he has a much different style than Base, so that's very important. KI is a cool game because it lets you really show your personality, and Raven and Base have played very different Spinals. Thompxson, playing Jago, is interesting because he lost, in the most recent patch, Jago had some nerfs, right? He lost the safety on medium wind kick, which is a really important neutral tool for Jago. So this is the first time, at least, that I've seen him play since the nerf. So I'm actually quite curious to see how he handles the nerf, whether he still uses the move, because it actually still low crushes still, so it's still useful. But it's not more of a hard read. You can't just actually use it as a default tool. So I wanted to see, particular, how Thompxson uses or doesn't use wind kick, medium wind kick, and how Raven handles Thompxson, because I know Raven has said that he feels he matches up well against Thompxson. He starts off with a jump and sets a precedent with heavy auto doubles broken right away. But one thing is important is I like that Raven goes for it, because look at this damage he took. This is, it's by using heavy auto doubles, he basically plants the seed of doubt in Thompson's head early. And even if the break comes, he takes, this is decent damage to escape with. So this is not like a bad play. And Thompxson has to start thinking now about why would he do heavy auto doubles immediately on me. Okay, overhead. That saw a bit of reduced range. This overhead saw a bit of reduced range in the previous patch and a bit slower, so it went from 19 to 22 frames to start up. I think Jago's overhead was probably slightly, I think they could have left it and it would have been okay, but I think, a small nerf to its speed and range is okay. It's not the end of the world for Jago players, and it was a really fast long range overhead. You might say deceptively long range even. But you can see it still hits people, because, that's pretty far away still. But this dive kick, again, I like the buff to Spinal's dive kick that they did a couple patches ago. I feel it's actually really strong for Spinal. He can kind of control space a bit like Rufus now. with longer range normals, like Rufus from Street Fighter 4 would often control space with this low range dive kick. And I think Spinal actually has a bit of that in him now, and I think that's really cool. It also means that dive kick safety lets him punish things that other characters can't easily punish, like for example, fast command grabs. He can do neutral jump and dive kick, and it's a punish because the dive kick hits so quickly. But if you're wrong and the guy didn't command grab, it's a much safer option to go to. So that dive kick is, I think Spinal players might be a little underselling how good of a change that is for him. There it is again, and he still gets a manual. He still gets a medium manual at least from this high, so it's not like, it's a good option to go to. Medium. Okay, Thompson's breaking a lot. Nice bait. This is DP. Oh, even better, yeah. Low crush. So wind kick low crushes from frame 1. It's not it doesn't have any, like the very first time you press the kick button, you're off the ground basically. You're not off the ground, but you're low crushing the move. So it can be reversals in exactly this situation. And instead of the combo, he chooses the life gain. I got it again. Oh, he does the reset. This is the Thompson special. Rather than taking the guaranteed damage here with more shadow fireballs, he goes with a reset. And I like the reset a lot because it's a difficult reset to block, and Jago gets just to keep loading up the white life. So his eventual cash out, if he tries to go for it later, will be higher. And he gets all these first hit bonuses in there, right? So in KI, your first hit that you do from neutral or in a combo does 200% damage. So think of it like reverse scaling, right? Normally as you go from longer in your combo, your hit damages, your hits do less damage over time. They scale. So up to, I think, down to like 25 or 20%. But in KI, the first hit gets an increase. It's like a reverse scale. So you always want to make sure your first hits in situations where you can afford them are heavies or shadows, or both, particularly heavy canceled into shadow. So by Thompson going for repeated overheads in here, he adds up on the white life and gets all this extra first hit damage. So there's another reset. He still gets more white life. So he knows, oh, no DP from Thompson. Thompson's good at DPing. Surprised no DP there. So Jago's instinct was well done. You got 2 shadows worth of white life back. He might even get another instinct on this bar. And the classic Spinal, the slide into instinct. So one thing that I learned actually recently is that, well, we'll talk about it when it happens, but slide is a much better move than I thought because of cancelability into Shadow Skull, and I think Raven does it in this set, so we'll talk about it when it happens. But okay, slide into instinct. There's a reset from Spinal. Heavy linker, no. Spinal's going to build a lot of meter from these bouncing skulls, but Jago nullifies it with his own fireball quickly. Now this is a hard anti-air to jump from, or sorry, a hard jump to anti-air from Jago. It's sort of right on the top of the head. Definitely Crouch Fears is going to whiff here. So blocking is correct. And he gets tagged. One chance from Thompson. Yeah, that must have been, that's an option select you can do against Spinal Teleport. If Spinal teleports, you do throw Fireball in front of him, and if Spinal Spinal backdashes, you throw a Fireball. And if Spinal teleports behind you, then you get a wind laser sword in the other direction because of the change in input. So it's kind of one of those situations where Spinal just has to block. There is the DP I was looking for. Wow, overhead. Heavy linker, yes. There's a nice, okay. And he's dead. Building some skulls for himself. And with instinct curse on, it doesn't matter what he ends the combo with there. Yes, that's plus. This is big time +3. These medium skulls, right there, the middle hitting ones, not the low or the overhead skulls. These are +3. So Spinal spends a resource, but he gets big time plus frames in your face. And you can't challenge here. If Spinal tries to throw or tries to attack you with a medium button, you just have to hold it. So the throw comes. Nice block from Thompson. Not again though. I feel like Raven does a really good job using teleport. He cancels. So if you don't know the Spinal mechanic, when he has a skull, he can cancel heavy teleport, which is the cross-up one. He can cancel the heavy version of teleport into any special move. And this is what Thompxson, or sorry, what Raven loves to do, is he likes to check people with teleport into this sword move, which is plus on block. So he throws him here, teleports, and then he does teleport cancel there. It costs him a skull to do that, but it basically is a safe attempt at a cross-up from more or less any range on the screen, and you know, you really have to be ready for it. It's not one of those things that you can easily react to. You kind of have to be preemptively pressing buttons, because Spinal can also teleport in place and all sorts of things, and you don't want to be going too hard there. But if used sparingly and intelligently, I think it's actually quite difficult to deal with. Big time trade. There's again, see, like Thompxson not expecting this here. He's expecting slide instant cancel. You can see him crouch block. It's a smart crouch block, but you know, this is the second layer of the mix-up. Light, medium, instant curse, and a throw reset. So Thompxson probably not getting another. See, you can't even jump out of it. Thompxson probably not getting another instinct here, or maybe he will now. Depends what Raven hits him with. He's out of there. So you can see to get out of the corner, Raven does heavy teleport into another teleport. So it costs him one skull to do that as well. But he can be hit on the way out, but it's kind of tricky to hit him. So, you know, it's one escape option he can use to kind of keep people on their toes. No DP. But he opened him up, he's dead. Break or die? Oh, he got got. But I love that Thompxson is willing to do this. This is one chance for your life. You have to... Yeah, you got him on the 3 hit. And what I like about this is, first of all, Thompxson counter breaks before the 3rd hit. So if he's expecting Raven to break the 3rd hit, you have to counter break before it. That's just how parries work. So I love that he did that. Secondly, I love that he went for it, because Raven, I see so many KI players just do this wall spot into Shadow and then say, well, if they break it, they got it. But I mean, like, I don't know, you shouldn't really be thinking that way. I think you should be making a hard read one way or the other, and your hard read should contain counterbreaker a lot of the time. And I feel like a lot of KI players will be hesitant to counterbreak there, like maybe 10% of the time or something like that. I think that number should be much higher. Alright, so Thompxson strikes first. Moving ahead. Eventually. Here we go. Yeah. I thought I was about right there. Alright. Early skull for Raven. Wow. It's a good break on the medium linker. Teleport into checked. It costs him a skull to do that, like I said, but Spinal is plus, or even, roughly. I think he's +1 or something. And, you know, it's a good use of a skull. But now he's in the blender. Wow, he tried to option select, but didn't work. Yeah, get him big time. Oh, big drop there. I think there was a bit of a leg spike. Medium linker broken. Yes, and this is what I want to talk about. So this is big time. Like, look how far away these characters were here. Okay, so they're basically full screen, more or less. Right here they're full screen away. Spinal does run into slide, so he can close the distance really quickly. Right, that's really far away for a low. And then he cancels into Shadow Skull. Now, normally this is instant cancelable, which is what you see most people do. And I thought this move was punishable. I really did. I thought this move was punishable for a long time, like it was -5 or 6, and people were just dropping their punishes. This move is is -2. This is only -2. So for 1 bar, and Spinal builds meter, you know, pretty well, decently well. For 1 bar, he can have a full screen low that's safe on block. And it's something that I've never really saw a lot of Spinal players do, and I was wondering, I had assumed, I don't know where I heard this, maybe I heard it on Twitter or something. I thought this move was -8 or 6. Something that was always jab punishable, and when people didn't punish it, I thought, oh, they just missed it. Because it has a little block stun or something, people didn't really do it. But no, this move is only -2, and it was really surprising to me to learn this. I only learned it the other day, actually. I was talking to Raven about it. And man, I think this really changes my opinion of Spinal's neutral. Like a not a full screen, but like a half screen low, that's only -2. That's basically what Wolf's hamstring is. You know, for 1 bar you can make it safe. It's safe from shadow counter and a combo 1 hit, a grounded combo. So it's like, you know, to me it's a lot stronger than something like wind kick into shadow fireball. Even when my shadow fireball was safe, I thought it was like, I think this is considerably stronger, and I'm happy to see that Raven is using it now that I know about it, and I hope that he continues to use it, basically. There's a punish. There's a punish on wind kick. Yeah, that was medium for sure, and that was definitely a muscle memory from Thompxson. Not quite used to the change yet. So from this range, let's see. Let's take a look at this range again. Yeah, from that range, you should be never using medium or wind kick at all. Like even in the previous patches, you should be using medium laser sword, +1 on block for medium laser sword, and from any range where medium laser sword would hit, that's the move you should be using. Even like, you know, you shouldn't be using heavy laser sword necessarily because you can give them a shadow counterpoint. It's just a really medium laser sword's really good still. So from this range, I think Thompxson made a mistake. Pays for it. Only a jab punish though, because -6. All right. Catches reversal something. And Spinal has to make a guess here. Yeah, he guessed wrong. Heavy linker not broken. That was a guess from Raven. Checked. No, not checked. There's... Oh no. That's missed input from Raven here. Must have been fierce. I'm not sure why he pressed whatever that move is. Looks like medium punch. Alright. Slide instant cancels the Spinal classic. He's dead. Yeah. No, he didn't even have to spend the bar, but better safe than sorry. Spinal has lots of skulls to work with. Fire them? Yeah, well, I was about to say fire them and get started, but Thompxson really ready. Dash forward, wind kick. And the reset and the hit confirm. So, as I've talked about in previous sets with Thompxson, he's particularly good at this hit confirm. And I think it's one thing that Jago gets to do that a lot of other characters don't. A lot of his heavy normals have very long cancel windows at the very end of the move. So these hit confirms are quite doable, especially since you have a lot of time to see if they're crouching during the startup of overhead. So I think this confirm is quite doable even by intermediate players. And if you're a Jago player, you should definitely go into training and try and work this into your game. But I really love the reset from Thompxson because it mitigates his breaker risk. Okay, so I love the wind kick. So this round starts and both characters have full health basically, right? Thompxson makes a good read with dash wind kick and watch the health, right? So this is dash wind kick, or this is wind kick's damage, shadow wind kick. So it's level 1 but about to be level 2 white life. The reset comes in right away and that does first hit damage, so it's a good chunk, followed by now he's level 2, about to be level 3 with the next hit, with the 1 chance he might do here. Yeah, he does 1 chance into level 3. So he did 32%, and he had virtually no risk of doing less than that, right? So this is, he spent 2 meters, but this is a good use of 2 meters, and the reset not only messes with Raven's head for the future, but it's a smart way. People always ask, like, oh man, how do I deal with all these guest breaking? Well, counter breaker is one way. Trying to vary your combo between manuals and stuff is another way. Resets is a really big, important third way to deal with these, to deal with mitigating breaker risk. Thompson's in trouble. He baits the throw, and not again, but no DP from Thompxson. I was really surprised. I was expecting no throw. Yeah, and he got hit. He could have DP'd for sure. One way to help yourself think about this is if you imagine your throw input, so in your head, it's really hard to think about throw and then like react to what happens on the screen and then either DP or block or something, right? What I like to do in this game and also in Street Fighter 4 and 5, which both have, Street Fighter 4 and 5 have particularly low throw recovery, so you can often, well, almost always DP jumps if they try to neutral jump your grabs. What you should do is think about throw as not just light punch plus light kick, but rather light punch plus light kick plus the motion for DP. That should be your input every time you throw somebody. Okay, the motion for DP without the button at the end. So you should practice that in training. Do throw, DP motion, throw, DP motion, throw, DP motion every time. Especially if you're on offense. Maybe it's a little harder on defense, but on offense, if you do an offensive throw, you should do throw plus DP motion. Then pressing one button is considerably easier than trying to manually do the DP motion and the button and try to analyze what's happening on screen, if that makes sense, right? So if Thompson had done DP input in addition to his throw, this is an easy DP. Let's watch again. So throw plus DP motion would have made sure that punch is all he has to press there instead of the full thing. Much easier to press one button on reaction than it is to do a motion and a button. Yeah, you can't get him there. Spinal could cancel run as a block immediately. Overhead. Spinal's overhead is only 18 frames. Did you guys know that? It's the fastest overhead in the game that isn't a special move. And that isn't, I think, like Aganos has a close medium punch. That's like, we're not going to count that because it's not a mix-up overhead. Spinal's overhead is 18 and it's the fastest mix-up overhead in the game. So the more you know. Jago's used to be 19 and Fulgor's is still 19. So Spinal has an advantage over those other characters at close range mix-ups. And he's dead. Spend the meter on, oh no. This might cost him the game. That bait was smart from Thompson. This is to bait teleport, right? He's done this against base, and I think this is actually where the difference between Raven's Spinal and base's Spinal hurt Thompson in this mix-up, because this is a very classic base thing to do. In my previous set, I analyzed with Thompson base did teleport, and he caught back teleport with this jump a lot. Raven actually did it in the first game as well, so it's not an unfounded risk from Thompson. He saw the heavy teleport from Raven earlier, but it's a hard read that didn't work out for him here because the precedent hadn't been totally set in this set at least. So good from Raven to hold his ground, and he gets a lot of space. He gets to get out of the corner. Yeah. Heavy linker not broken. This is breaking though. Yeah. So what I would love to see, well, I have the benefit of hindsight to know that he broke it, but I would have loved to see another counter breaker there from Thompson. It's one of those things that, okay, you did it once in the first game, and surely you're not going to do it a second time, right? So we'll just let him get away with it. I think Raven breaks there all the time. I think there's probably no chance that he lets one counter breaker dissuade him from breaking. So I would love to see another counter breaker have come out here. But okay, he can still win the game. You can't get him too far away. But he does build some skulls. And there's a nice anti-air. Overhead, nice block. But he's still in the blender. Big time blender. Yeah, oh, he got him. Smart play from Raven. He did steal the game back. The missed counter breaker attempt did catch up with Thompson there. But I really like the run anti-air that Spinal did here. Let's watch again. It's good game awareness to know that, yes, exactly. This reminds me a lot of stuff that like Guile will do in a Street Fighter game, where he'll throw a boom and then walk behind it, and then you don't want to block the boom because you get put in this gross spot. So instead you'll just forward jump. But Guile has already walked forward and he's going to press crouch fierce on you, or back fist, something like that. This situation reminds me a lot of that. So he throws this knowing that Jago has to block it, and he's ready for the counter when Jago doesn't want to block. He was ready for exactly that scenario, and it came to him. And his reward is plus pressure here, and this great mix-up for the throw. So, Raven comes through with a clutch anti-air, good game awareness, and good understanding of what Thompson was looking for there. And he turns it into a victory, so good for him. So can Thompson Tiger Fury after a throw whiff every time? No. So throw whiffs have 29 frames of recovery, okay? And 2 active frames. So jumps are about, I have the data somewhere. Jumps are about 40 frames, 40 to 42 frames. I think that's like the quote-unquote average jump, right? It's about 40 frames. So that means there are, if you time your, it depends on how you throw them, okay? So if you throw them such that they have to jump the first frame of your active frames, i.e. it's like sort of a meaty throw, right? Or like a very highly offensive throw, then a neutral jump will not work. because they dodge your 2 active frames and your 29 frames of recovery. So it's about 30 to 31 frames, but their jump is 40 frames. So you recover before they land. And unless they hit you with like idle jump fierce, or like, you know, something that has like super long vertical recovery or vertical range, then they will be anti-airable, okay? But it's not quite the same if you jump before they activate their throw. Okay, so if you jump in anticipation of throw, then you get extra frames. You get however much your early anticipation was, plus the 5 frames of startup in addition to that. So you will get hit there, because the jump will have the right amount of frames to land. Does that make sense? The math actually works out quite well, so that if you do meaty throw, you can always recover in time. But if you don't do meaty throw, you will get hit. So that's why Thompxson was able to DP that jump, because it was on his offense and he did it out of block stun such that it was sort of meaty. And even then, Spinal can do jump into dive kick and bypass that whole thing, because he has a way to not last the entire jump recovery, which is why I think dive kick is good. I was talking about that earlier, right? The characters who have jump altering dive kicks like that get away from the situation. So you can only DP if you meaty throws. I get it now. Yeah, yeah. The DP has to, or the throw has to be pretty meaty, and you have to be able to dodge most of the startup frames. But this happens often on offense. Like if you do something like, let's say you're Jago and you do like double roundhouse, the forward heavy kick. That's +2, right? And then you try and throw them after that. So you get a 2-frame discount on your recovery, right? So they only dodge 2 frames of your startup if they hold up. Depending on the character, you'll probably get them. You'll probably be able to DP them, unless they press, like I say, some gigantic heavy button in the air. But the point is that in very specific situations, like for example, you knock them down and you go up and you throw them as a meaty, those situations, 100% you should be buffering DP. And after something like double roundhouse on block, you should be buffering DP if you try to throw. But in situations where you are defensively throwing and your opponent has the frame advantage or the ability to make you suffer the entire startup while they're acting, then you won't be able to DP in those spots. So could Spinal have dive kicked out of the jump to beat the TP? He could have dive kicked and punished the throw directly, right? Because he doesn't have to suffer the entire jumping frames to attack. He can attack immediately, or more or less immediately. Small height restriction, but certainly enough to attack to punish the jump, or sorry, punish the throw. So if you have a dive kick like Spinal, what other characters can do immediate downward attacks in the air, no matter their height? Someone like Arbiter can do jump back gunshot, right? Stuff like that. I'd have to look at the character list. I can't think right now. There's another character with a dive kick, I'm sure, right? I can't think of one though. Someone like Kim can probably do jump into Dragon Dash and then attack. I'd have to look at the frames for that one, but yeah. Alright, next match. Man, whose theme is this? Is this General Ram's theme or something? One chance from Jago. Oh, thrown out of the overhead. It's good. So this is one of those situations where if you're going to try and do a mix-up on someone who's wall splatted, you should make sure your mix-up does not lose to throw. Right? Because throw is like a very common response from your opponent here. If you're trying to do a really slow mix-up in their face like that, you should expect to get thrown a lot of the time. Man, UA Wheels hosted someone a couple weeks ago. Oh wow, backdash. Backdash made that overhead reset whiff. Is he mashing backdash during this whole combo? He must have been. Blocked, but now he's in the corner. He's going to jump. No? Oh, he tried slide instinct. Or slide cancel. Wow, jump fierce stuffed. There, he tried it again. And Thompxson is ready. You can see Thompxson knows exactly what Spinal wants here. This slide instinct into instinct is such a common way to get started as Spinal. And when Spinal is cornered like this, you know that he's extra likely to fall back on, I don't want to say bad habits, but because it's not a bad habit to do slide instant cancel, but he's much more likely to go with the option that is like internalized in his brain. He's like, slide instinct is good, I'm in the corner and about to die, okay, slide instinct. So you should be ready a bit more. You should be biasing your decision making. If you have a cornered opponent who's just been getting hit a lot, you should be biasing your decision making for their internalized options, like the options that they do out of habit when they're panicked. Okay, and you can see Thompxson really does that here. So he's ready for it. He gets away without punishment, but he's gonna probably lose the life bar here. Safe jump. Yeah, that's a hit. That was going to be instinct canceled either way. And the important thing here is that you never have to block this. Okay, so that hit him because it was a punish. Crouch medium kick is low. But let's say Spinal or Thompxson hadn't done anything and just stood there. You should never block this teleport. It's really slow. You can just hold up on reaction, and then he can't instant cancel this. So Raven was going to instant cancel this if it was blocked. So it wasn't, so he gets to save his instincts. So that's cool. But you don't want to ever block this move. And you don't have to. He's going to get him with low crush again, yes. Spends both meters. Gets a little extra. So that was a good unbreakable kill. Spends both the meters immediately. Oh, got him with the dive kick. That's the Rufus control I was talking about here. Other characters would have been able to punish that particular type of jump. But you can see the versatility in Spinal with that dive kick, right? I like that dash. So since Jago lost a bit of mid-screen control, he lost medium wind kick. You basically can never use the move except against a very few characters that have a harder time punishing because of the pushback. Spinal's not one of them because of the beefy range on crouch jab. Basically, medium wind kick is only for whiff punishing lows. You can't use the move otherwise. So Jago really loses from this, like, you know, right around here and in. Jago's not particularly good anymore, I think. He has double roundhouse, which is good, especially if the opponent doesn't have meter, but not the case here. One thing he did retain, though, is dash cancel off fireball. Now this is always negative. It doesn't matter what normal you've started with. In fact, if he starts with a medium normal, it's actually really negative. Like we're talking -10 or something, -8, -10. But it's a hard reaction, which is the important part because Jago's dash is only 18 frames. By comparison, dashes in Street Fighter V, which many people consider just lightning fast, are like 15, 16. So Jago's dash in speed is not too far off of Street Fighter V's dashes. So you can really catch people if they're sleeping, especially if you use the Endokuken cancels kind of sparingly and not every time. So rather than medium wind kick there, which a lot of Jagos would do otherwise in the previous patches, he goes with low short. So that was really negative because he used low short. But alright, got him. But yeah, it was really negative because he used low short, but the surprise factor is important. And because KI is kind of scrambly and kind of highly mentally taxing, you're not always going to react to an 18 frame dash like that. So it's still a good option. Well, big time punish, yes. But it's okay. Jago did his job. He got instinct. Spent it, built health back, and built this much instinct for his next life bar. So, you know, Spinal's done a lot more work than Jago has in this set so far, or in this match. So he was okay with that DP risk, I think. No confirm there off the jabs, unfortunately. Nice block, but again, plus frames. And you can see him checking there with short, right? Thompxson does not want this teleport. He's trying to check with short. But it doesn't happen because depending on when you press the button, you might not have turned around in time yet, right? And look at all this meter. Oh no, I was going to say look at all this meter, but he already had full meter. We'll have to wait for a time when he doesn't have full meter to check the meter gain on these bouncing skulls. It's big time though. No, you can't do anything, yeah. Nice teleport from... I love the awareness from Raven here. He knows that Thompxson knows that he can't do anything, right? Thompxson uses instinct to try and see the mix-up. There is no mix-up. And Shadow Wind Kick will go through the skull, but he'll get Shadow countered. So he's not going to do that. Instead, he knows that he's going to block because He's a good enough player to assess the situation and understand where he's at. So Thompxson, or what Raven does, is he immediately goes on the offense with a tricky mix-up here, right? And I think that's really hard to block if you're Thompxson, because the mix-up comes out of so far out of nowhere. You expect both players to sort of feel themselves out after the instant cancel, but Raven was ready. He had already ascertained the correct decision to make during the instinct freeze and went in. But okay, immediately broken, but still 12%. So again, every time you get broken, you shouldn't panic. You should look at your 12% reward and realize that it's not so bad. Okay, this is tough. Yeah, and there's the bait that we're talking about. This is he did get him this time. This is something that base likes to do a lot, and Raven fell for the trap here. Really smart. You tried to anti-air. Instant cancels, instant combos from Jago can go one manual up in the strength while in instinct, right? So he does medium into heavy, into light, into medium. That's stuff you can't do otherwise. Good break though. Got him. Oh, you could have got him for sure. This is, you can, maybe too far. Yeah, it's right on the edge. All right. He's zoning a bit. He's trying to bait teleport or something, and I like the patience there from Jago, or from Thompxson. Did not fall for the same trick that he fell for last time. He got hit air to air, but next time he might be much more ready for that. And option select. Okay, he has to break. Yes. It's the same break pattern as before. Before Raven broke 2-3-4 and 2-3-4. This time he breaks 2-3-5. So if Thompxson had counter broken on 3, he would have got him again. But he was hoping that I think Thompxson would or Raven would have messed this breaker up, because this is an opener breaker, so the timing is different than the normal linker breaker. But I think in Season 3, when they increase the window to break shadow moves, I think this is pretty much not, you're not going to lock out too many times here. Can Jago and Omen also break the manual rule in Instinct? Yes, they both can, and Spinal can as well. So there's 4 characters in the game that can do it. But 2-3-5 break from Raven. Okay, he does throw him this time. Jago can take that though. He's out of there. Spinal will not get instinct this match. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So a new move from Spinal, and a couple patches ago, he can build 3 skulls for 1 shadow meter, kind of like an install super. But recovery. And that's from downtown. So the range where he can do that as a punish is pretty high. And I think the way you would only really do that is to... Sorry, hang on a sec, guys. Sorry, guys. Someone, my roommate just came home. Yeah, so like I was saying, you can't punish the if you're looking to avoid getting punished for your activation of your shadow or your skull summon, you have to do it when your opponents are being locked down by instinct skulls, or you have to find a space from far away when they can't punish. I think it's harder against Jago, but against other characters you'd be able to find that space. I think Raven thought he had the space, and that Thompxson didn't do it, or that Thompxson wouldn't try it, but he was incorrect on the spacing there. Wow, big fat trade in neutral. Big punish here, yes. And I like this a lot. So Raven has had enough of these early breaks from Thompxson, especially on these auto doubles. The first 3 games have been setting him up, I think, for this. And even without meter, Spinal gets a big chunk of life. Spinal is actually one of the more damaging characters in the game. You might not think so. He's a top 5 damaging character in the game if you look at the numbers. He does more damage in combos than even someone like Tusk on average, I think. Only characters like Mira and Thunder kind of outpace Spinal. Especially Spinal with 1 meter. The Shadow Sword linker is a top 3 damaging linker in the game. So with meter, it's like just unbelievably strong. But even without meter, Spinal will get a lot off of this, so it's a really good bet. Yeah, 2 skulls. That's the optimal combo. 51% no meter. So huge. Oh, he's got him with DP. Yeah. There's the option select again. Yeah, he's trying to escape, but I think he should maybe just try and block here a bit. Oh, that's bad. Wow, he got away. Got away with it. I think Thompxson could have maybe thrown Shadow Fireball there. If Thompxson dashes and throws it here, he makes Spinal drop the Power Devour, or else he gets hit, grounded. So it's something that he has to use to prevent Spinal from doing that from close range. We've talked about that in previous Spinal versus Jago sets, so want a bit more heavy analysis of that, you can check out the other base versus Thompxson set that I've done. Throw or mix up? Yes. Uses a heavy button instead of throw, so Thompxson locks out. It was a timing lockout because it was a delayed manual. But yeah, that's the mix up there, either throw or a non-light button. Slide instinct. Okay, he's in there. Overhead is nicely blocked. Alright, let's watch this meter. Everybody watch the meter. So I'm going to put my mouse in here. So there's Spinal. He spends the meter on the thing. Watch the meter go up. Block the skull. Block the skull. Here comes 2 more skulls. Wow, look at that. 2 full bars in a situation where Jago pretty much just had to keep blocking. And like I say, because Spinal has so much damage off of his meter, this meter is not inconsequential. Okay, Shadow Counter. He's going to die, I think. Yeah, Thompxson spends the bar, which I think he should do. Nice anti-air again. So this is like the 5th or 6th time that Raven backdashes on his wake up. He's really not respecting the option select, I think. This option select didn't come this time, but the backdash didn't get him too far out of pressure here. That was a good block. Oh, he tried again, but that was the spacing we had talked about earlier, right? Where I said good block from Raven when he didn't challenge the anti-air. This on top of the head attack is something that Spinal can't really easily deal with. He has to block and deal with the mix-up after. Medium linker. Heavy auto double, not broken. Alright. And that's what I'm talking about. Jago does not have to block there. He meaties with low short. And he has time to backdash this. Okay, this is a really slow move. And Jago's short only has about, it's 5 startup, 2 active, and like, I don't know, 7 recovery or something like that. So this shadow move is, well, first of all, because he can block, you know that he could have done something that wasn't block here, right? He could have backdashed. I think DP loses because it's a shadow move, and it might lose the trade. But, and it also might be hard to DP because of cross-up inputs or whatever. But backdash always works here. If you do a meaty and you could block, you could have backdashed, and you could have avoided this situation where Spinal has plus frames and instinct. Instead, you could have killed him. But, alright, he's in the corner, and Spinal in instinct is not any better defensively, so he could very easily lose here. Another strong break from Raven. Another important guess. He's going to die. Wow, is he going to steal it? He stole it. Wow, what happened there? Let's go back and take a look at that. Isn't Jago too close to the corner to backdash? You know what? You might be right. In the corner, it might be a little finicky. So in this situation, maybe he had to block. I'm not too sure. But I think you might also want to just take the... if you backdash and you sort of get hit airborne, or like with the final couple hits, it might be preferable to blocking and letting him activate. I'm not sure. Definitely mid-screen, and like even not too far away from the corner. It's an option. But yeah, you're right. In this case, it might be a bit too close. So what happened here? Let's take a look again. An important break, and he instinct pops and he tries to punish teleport, but teleport has not appeared on the other side yet. So because he does not delay the jab, he presses it right away and he comes out on the wrong side. So that's a real bummer. But he didn't lose the game immediately there. He had a break chance, and was given a reactable linker. But KI happens so fast that sometimes you just have to guess, right? So wow, Raven comes back and really steals that one. But I think the early counter break that Thompxson did on Raven in game 1, where he shadow moved and then counter broke him. Raven has not let that deter him, and he's broken every other shadow move. And Thompxson has not counter broken yet again. So clearly the lesson was not learned yet. So I think Thompxson might have to. I think he probably should have gone back to the counter breaker well already, but certainly now he's going to have to start thinking about it. Nice overhead. Nice check with Stand Fierce as well. These Stand Fierce buttons for both characters are really good. So this is big fat Stand Fierce and Spinal not to be outdone. Nice block though. Plus frames. There's the dive kick control. I like it. Heavy linker avoided. Early curse. So as Spinal, if you can manage to get meter while your opponent still hasn't taken a lot of damage, which can happen if your opponent blocks a lot of things, the instinct or the meter is very well spent on instinct curse, because you can basically really limit their options in round 1, and if you can prevent someone from getting started in round 1, you have a very good chance of winning the match. Nice. So look at all this. This is all, he has to take this mix up. He got away with it, but he's lost a lot of damage and built no instinct for any of it. That was a good bait. I like the bait here from Raven a lot. He wasn't quite ready for the jump, but he was expecting some sort of DP or other defensive action that wasn't jump forward. That's a safe jump setup from Jago. If he does certain types of heavy knockdowns or flip outs, he can do safe jumps. And this was a safe jump setup that Raven did not quick rise, so it turned into a scramble meaty. Thompxson wins. Nice close range overhead. I think, again, so one thing that I kind of think Thompxson could improve on is, so he cancels close range overhead into fireball. This is -6. Or it might even be -8, but it's minus something. If you're going to take the risk on overhead and you're this close, you can do a medium laser sword, which is +1, and you get the same combo. And it's more damage, probably medium laser sword than fireball. So this is, I think, a bad choice by Thompxson to prioritize. If you do it from further away, like if Thompxson was like back here and did overhead from back this range, where medium laser sword whiffs, then fireball is a better choice there, because you can continue your combo from different distances. But from this range, medium laser sword is the go-to option for Jago, especially now that wind kick is worse. But okay. The hit managed to land, so it didn't matter too much. But in the future, if it's blocked, he's going to be paying a price. And there's the nice neutral jump bait. Thompxson is... This neutral jump is very low risk, right? If Spinal doesn't run in and do slide, this neutral jump is very hard to punish. You basically have to do like teleport into laser sword or some like risky thing, but you have to do it even preemptively because it's so fast. Basically, I like the ideas that Thompxson has in the neutral here. He's very quickly realizing Raven's penchant for doing slide and when he wants to do it. Rewarded with a big punish. He went for a nice reset there. See, he jumped there. He tried to jump there. If you do a meaty, you won't be able to jump because you have to clear, because Shadow Skeleport comes up at you, right? And it's got a big fat hitbox. We're talking like the hitbox for Shadow Skeleport is like this. Like it's all the way out here. So what you really want to do is not jump. You want to either DP it or backdash it. And here I think in the corner it was going to be too far. But again, he gets hit. Instant comes anyway. And he does guess something that wasn't the heavy auto double, which is why I like using heavies in these. I really like using heavies in these close to death situations. I think a lot of people are scared to use heavies because they're like, oh man, what if they break? What if they like? But no, because people are so quick to reaction to guess break in situations where they're going to die, they will often not guess heavy. So heavy is actually a really good option in those situations, and they're very unlikely to let a reaction, to give themselves time to react in situations where they're going to die. So I like that people are that Raven prioritized heavy there. There is a nice DP from Thompxson. I love the patience. He's not falling for this That's a really hard mix-up to deal with. It's even harder to be ready to DP the jump. So Thompson's awareness here is spot on. I like it a lot. And he gets counter hit DP, so that's 19 or 18%. A big hefty chunk. Alright, quick little absorb. You can see, alright. Spinal or Thompxson looking for good neutral control with those fireballs. Trying to force Spinal to take a teleport risk. Punish, yes. Wow, that he got to walk forward and it still said punishment. That's quite a whiff punish. Thompxson goes for the 1 chance damage here. Because he has full health. So the 2 meters are better spent on damage when you don't have much to heal. I like the choice there. It's good awareness again, right? Thompxson knows what his health bar is here. He knows that he's not even down here, because if you're down here, you're better off spending it on 2 fireballs. But because he's here, he can only spend it on, so there's the 1 chance, right? Let's rewind that, take a look again. Remember, in Killer Instinct Season 3, you aren't allowed to cash out damage unless your opponent has been given a chance to break. So that can be any chance. It can be a linker, a manual, an auto double. It can be a shadow move. It can be anything. But you have to give them at least 1 chance, and they can't be projectiles. So if projectiles don't count because they're not breakable. So what he does something into opener, and then he does heavy auto double instant cancel. So his 1 chance is already gone. That was the 1 chance. This 5 frames of auto double that you can't see. So Thompxson knows that he's free to cash out now. So he does fireball, shadow fireball, enough to build back, it's going to be about here when I unpause. And then he throws another fireball for extra damage, shadow DP cash out. 36 for 2 meters and virtually unbreakable. Medium, yes, Raven. I love that you are willing to do this. You're a much better player when you counter break like this, Raven. Look at all this free damage. You didn't spend the meter, okay? Oh, you did spend the meter on the ender. Trying to catch a wind kick and or fireball. Yeah, and Thompson's ready again for the mix-up. Slide, run under, punish. Yes. Good break. That was a life-saving break for Thompxson. And he's in big trouble here. He can keep throwing them. Yes, I mean, it's really hard. He's going to build this meter. He tried a desperation shadow counter, but I'm not sure what he was trying to. Let's see what he was trying to hit here. So I remember at any time here, Raven can back up and regenerate skulls and start throwing more because he has this meter from all the block skulls down here. Instead, he spends it on slide into shadow skull, which I also like because it's a mix-up that is going to kill him. What was the shadow counter here? It was a good idea. Just slightly mistimed. So Spinal's instinct went from just an unbelievably gross set play stuff in Season 2, where he stole your resources so you couldn't fight back very well. In this season, his instinct, I think, is a lot more about control. It's less about these unblockable left-right 100 million times mix-ups. And it's more about what are you going to do about this. And if you block it all, and you try to keep blocking, he builds meter from the skulls that are bouncing. And he can just activate more skulls with the new shadow move he has. And if Spinal, if you block it all, he does a bunch of chip to you, and then finishes with 5 skulls and 2 meters. And he's actually okay with that, right? Because 5 skulls and 2 meters means he kills you next time he touches you. So Spinal's instinct change is worse than it was in Season 2. But I think if Spinal player starts to think about it as a control thing, as opposed to like, you're going to die as soon as I pop it, they will start to see, I think, the benefit of using it more. They will start to explore its uses and come up with situations where it's actually quite strong. And I think that situation showed it there. Thompxson really had no recourse except a Desperation Shadow counter. Someone says, a certain guide advises that Shadow Soul Sword is better damage than Shadow Skeleport. Talking about Spinal counterbreaker combos. Yeah, Shadow Soul Sword, like I said, is the highest damage combo in the game, or one of the highest damage linkers in the game. Actually, I want to see now. I didn't have Killer Instinct booted up ahead of time, but I'll just boot it up quickly now. Hopefully it doesn't take forever to do this. Sometimes this stupid syncing to servers takes like a minute. But I want to see just how much of an advantage it is to do Shadow Soul Sword versus Shadow Skeleport in the 1-bar combo. Alright, that wasn't so bad. Yeah. Alright, here we go. So let's do this. Let's turn combo breakers on all. So I can do that into that. Okay. So I forget what move I used on. I think I used medium soul sword. I'll use medium soul sword. So what's the best 1-bar combo here? I think it's this. So that's the combo that so that's 58. That's the combo that Raven did. So I think the better combo might be this. What's this? 59. So it's better, but by only 1%. I mean, if you're gonna do it, then do the better version, right? But he only gave up 1% by making the quote-unquote mistake of doing the second best combo. So it's not so bad, right? Certainly in the future you should do the better combo, but he didn't give up 10%, so it's all right. And take a look at the damage. Watch Spinal's life bar go down with the Shadow Soul Sword. Watch the damage. Man, that hurts. All that white life. That's some good stuff. No other linker in the game hurts that. Well, not no other linker, but very few linkers hurt that bad. It does a lot of real damage and a lot of potential damage, so you can chuck. You can get your combo up to level 3 and 4 quickly if you don't have it. All right, moving on. So Thompxson likes these resets, right? And I like that he's forcing him to guess low here. Like he's forcing him to remember that, okay, look, it's not always going to be reset overhead. Sometimes it's going to reset low. And there is the right choice. So he resets into low, but it's medium laser sword. So this is so much better than Fireball or Wind Kick, even in the patch where Wind Kick wasn't nerfed, right? We're talking +1 versus -3. And obviously, you want to be plus. So I like that he uses the right move here, and look, he gets to continue his offense because of it. Oh, out of range of overhead. That probably would have hit last patch. -2 again. Really strong use of meter for Spinal. Nice combo. I like that Spinal actually has a lot of uses of meter, right? It's cool to me that he can, Shadow Skull is great in combos. It's also great in neutral to keep slide safe. But he has these high damaging enders and linkers. So it's actually a real choice for him what he wants to use his meter on. He can use Shadow Bone Shaker or whatever the shoulder move is called. He can go through projectiles with it. So in some matchups you want to save it for that. When you have diverse uses of meter like this, it makes an interesting character. Not only does every use of meter feel good, like you don't have to save it for just one use and every other use is a waste. Like you can use it for different things and you're like, wow, I feel like I'm actually playing a game here. But secondly, the optimization that goes on for that is really interesting to me. I like characters that have strong meter management mechanics in general, not just KI, but in most games. Again, Thompxson looking for offense here. No DP, -2, but he catches the backdash. He challenges the minus frames by walking forward because he knows Spinal is scared of the minus frame situation. And another counter breaker. No meter to make this hurt too bad, but it's enough to. I mean, this is more than enough. 48 again. No meter. He's dead. Yeah. And again, you see both these players using very good resets and combos. Medium manual, run, cancel, throw. Right? I think KI is, not counting games like Marvel, which is like unblockable, undefendable resets. I think KI is the game with the most resets, or with the scariest resets, I should say. you should be looking to reset your opponent a lot because the 200% damage increase on your first hit, that's incentive enough to reset. You get, your white life doesn't go away, so it's not like if you immediately hit them again, your combo, you haven't lost any potential in your combo, so it's going to hurt just as bad as it used to. And it really dodges this breaker situation that so many people are scared of. They're unnecessarily scared of being broken in this game. One way to prevent your opponent from breaking is to reset them and force them to really think about highs, lows, throws, in addition to timing and strength of breakers. So I think if KI continues to be played, like we've been playing it for about 3 years now, a little over 3 years. I think if KI is played another 3 years, or even less than that, like hopefully it's played a long time, but if we play it even for just another year, I think a lot of players will start to really see the value in resets. Like, it's super strong, and even characters that aren't particularly great at resets, there's juice there. There's juice in the resets. So think about that next time you play. Think about mixing in resets in addition to just doing long combos or short combos. All right, Jago's back to full life. Nice break on the medium. So after double fireball, Jago cannot link a heavy, right? And he can't cancel into special moves, so he has to do medium or light here. So it's a 50-50 guess. In case you didn't know, it's not a 1 in 3 guess. But of course, Jago can reset you, like we were just talking about. He's +8 after fireball, and Jago has no 8-frame heavies. So basically, he has to do medium or light. If you didn't know that, that might increase your increase the likelihood of you succeeding in breaks here. Okay, he presses medium. Man, this music is so good, eh? Wow, nice confirm. And Thompxson outplays him. Oh man, I would have broken. I would have counter broken if I was Spinal. Man, this is the revenge breaker of the decade here. Everybody wants to revenge breaker this after Thompxson or Raven broke like 5 consecutive shadows, and Thompxson was ready to get him here. And I would have. Oh man, that's such a revenge breaker scenario. All right. Oh, okay. Leg situation. That's a bummer. Again? Oh, he's dead anyway. Doesn't matter. Jago gets to build 2 rounds of Around the World, 30% instinct, and a full bar. So Jago for sure is getting instinct. Take a look at what Raven's ideas are in the neutral here, right? Spinal has poor walk speed. So it's like, he uses run here, right, to get in. He's like, okay, let's stop for the fireball, time to back up. Run again. He's faking things. He's trying to get, right, he's trying to be at a range where he can run and force Jago to really think about something. He gets stopped by the fireball again. Wow, Raven. Your success rate on breaking those shadows is unreal. Punish with a fierce. Oh, I wonder why throw there. This is a really easy situation to punish with fierce into something. Maybe he wants to set up instead. I'm not too sure. I would have chosen fierce here myself. But he wants to start the blunder maybe. Again, watch Spinal meter. Watch it go. Bottom left. Take a look at this meter situation down here. All these skulls just going nuts. And he's so dead. All right, Raven up 4-2. Nice whiff punish. All right, Thompxson finally wins a breaker game. It kind of feels like it's been a long time, right? This is something that a lot of players will do at high level. They will see a reactable auto double, like a heavy, and they will not break it, and instead they will guess break the next linker because they think the opponent has gotten away with the heavy auto double, and they will be unwilling to counter break the thing that is just after the bait, if that makes sense, right? They're like, they did heavy auto double and they didn't break, so like, oh yes, I got away with it. The guy fell for my mind game. So they aren't immediately thinking how to catch his next break attempt. So good players will like see heavy auto doubles, not break them, and then guess break the next linker, which has a low success rate chance, but it's something that will, it's a nice wrinkle to throw into your strategy about when you break, as opposed to just always breaking the same thing. So here's the heavy auto double, and then you can see the guess break on the laser sword linker. Must have been light. I would have guessed light. DP? No. Thompson. Must be a little rusty. Overhead. There's the 1 and 2 that he gets here. Guess goes with light. Medium. And nice confirm from Thompson. It does DP. And he's going to hit him. Yes. Perfect. I like the bait, again. He knows that Raven's looking for any excuse to activate Instinct, right? So it's a smart way to avoid the situation where he might teleport or he might do Shadow Teleport. You don't want to give him a chance to make him block something. But now he has no choice, alright? How much damage is Thompson going to lose here? Spinal's going to get a lot of meter back. He has all the skulls to work with. Yes. This control. Yes. Bait it and punish. Yes, I love the punish. It's really smart. 39%. This was such a strong punish because this laser sword hurts so bad. Look at this damage. Watch Jago's health bar at the top here. This is where, oh man. I'm gonna pause it. This is where Jago's health bar was. Now watch the fierce damage. Remember the 200% bonus on first hits, right? Whoa, bam! Look at that fierce damage. And then the shadow laser sword. Bam, 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 bam. Look at that. This damage for unbreakable because Thompson or because Raven does a smart punish, right? If you're this is the benefit of doing fierce into shadow as opposed to light into laser into special move. Like light into special move is like here, this much as opposed to this much. If you're talking about how do you mitigate breaker damage, smart punishes is another way. He does light teleport linker into one more shadow move. Alright, so there's the punish. Light linker, teleport, one chance into, so that was 39%. And it was only a level 1. Or was it level 1? Let's take another look. Oh, sorry, level 2. Oh, level 3, my mistake. I saw the level 1 here, and I thought it was level 1. Man. And Thompson and Raven already has almost a full bar again because of the meter on skull. Well, that was a DP attempt for sure. No, nice DP, I like that. Alright, oh wow, Thompson had already committed to a button. What happened here? Oh, for sure, he had so what happened here was Thompson was trying to punish with jump medium kick, but because Spinal froze the screen, Thompson pressed jump medium kick as if the jumping was going to continue on its arc, right? But in KI, shadow moves don't freeze your inputs. So the medium kick came out way earlier than Thompson was expecting because he pressed it during the freeze sometime. That's a bit of a unfortunate situation for Thompson. He lets Raven get away with a really unsafe skull throw, but I don't think there's anything he really could have done to stop that. Alright, Thompson, let's block some. Oh, no, wow. Again, Raven had the right idea, just not quite in range for that punish. I think Stand Fierce is a better choice here. That's okay, let's back up and take a look. There's the missed input. And I think this DP, whenever it comes. Stand Fierce may be the better choice. There's a nice DP. And again, Raven really prefers backdash on his wake up, huh? I'd say well over 50% of Raven's backdashes, or Raven's wake ups are backdashes. And there's the block confirm from Thompson. So this is that's a really good he was gonna special move. But Thompson's really good at his hit confirming off of that very late cancelable button. Got him, DP, yes. Big fat damage on that DP. Get him, Shadow. Oh. Shadow Fireball, yes, this is what I'm talking about. He has to let it go. He has no choice. Raven has no choice but to let this go. If he doesn't let go of Shadow or of Absorb here, he's going to get put in a ton of hit stun as he absorbs all the hits of the Shadow Endokuken. And then Jago can just walk in and press a Fierce button while he's blocking that, or while he's absorbing that. So Thompxson has no choice but to, or Raven has no choice but to let this go here. And it's a good answer for, it's both a good answer and a bad answer for Jago's Fireball pressure, this absorb. If Jago has meter and he's close range, you can't really do it. Now he's got corner, he teleports out. And again, this, if he had option selected a wind kick or a laser sword there, he could have got him. Again, good pressure. He's gonna run under. Oh, he tried. And I have a feeling like Raven must have tried run under here. He must have wanted to run under and punish with something, but he still got hit anyway. Yeah, that's a bummer. And you see he immediately gets broke, right? He gets broke, but he got timing locked out because of the reset. There's the timing lockout. He tried to break something that wasn't happening. He's still in hit stun here, which is why he can break, right? You're not allowed to break unless you're in hit stun. So this is him still being in hit stun, and then by the time the reset lands, he leaves hit stun. The lockout went away, and he just gets hit immediately. All right, so that's a good. It's a good next game from Thompxson there. He breaks the Raven streak of wins. He sort of reminds Raven that he's still kicking around here. And you can see, with no meter, this is not a particularly effective long-range strategy. But every time Spinal absorbs, he gives up walking, right? And this is really important. So Thompxson throws fireballs. He's okay with getting this one absorbed. It's whatever. He gives him a skull, but it's okay. So now he fakes it, and he absorbs. And now he's stuck in this absorb. He has to let go of absorb at some point. And Thompxson gets to walk forward while he's thinking about that. So he gets to get close range space, right? And now, yes. Really smart from Thompxson. This is one way to get in on the neutral here. And now it gets to abuse Spinal's poor wake up. He's in the corner, and Jago has nearly full bar. And again, Raven, I'm really glad you see the value of these counter breakers. And I like that you do it early, because that means you won't get got by the system. And I like that you're doing it often, because of the damage disparity when you counter break, it's just so worth it. And I'm really glad you're seeing it here, because... Alright, he even puts the instant curse on him. He still gets level 4. He gets 46, and Jago got no instinct for that damage, so he's going to kill him before his instinct comes up on this first life bar. And that is definitely worth sacrificing. He sacrificed probably 5 to 6% for that combo by not doing Shadow Laser Sword or Shadow Soul Sword or whatever. But giving Jago no instinct for that combo in a situation where he's going to get a lot of this life back if he has instinct is like very valuable and super worth it. Oh, that was a good pickoff. Oh, he's going to die. Shadow? Oh, he didn't even need Shadow. Well calculated by Thompxson. I would have spent Shadow to be sure. But his reward for having good wow. Did that lag like cause the drop there? I think this lag must be only on basis side, because the stream side, because whenever this notification pops up, there's always a little bit of lag, but I don't think the players experience this lag. Yeah, Thompson's reward for that good optimization is starting the next round with a meter that he wouldn't have otherwise had, and now he can prevent Spinal from doing all sorts of things. It's not going to come into play here, but it doesn't mean the optimization isn't super valuable, right? DP. Oh, he tried it. Thompson's been so good about that. This is one area where he's definitely lost, or where Raven is not getting as much juice out of these mix-ups as he would expect, I think. And this missed input on the DP is a heartbreaker for Thompxson. Yes, yes, spend it. The high damaging linker turns a very late lockout into 43%. Like this would have been something like, you know, high 20s without it. But man, look at that. Again, watch this. Watch the chunky damage. I'm going to put my mouse where it is here. Watch the chunky damage on this laser sword linker. Bonk, 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 bonk. Look at that. You see that big extra chunk on that last hit? Let's rewind and look at that again. I'll leave my mouse about where it was here. Watch the chunky damage on the 5th hit of this laser sword. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, like it's a cave, or it's a ender level increaser and a huge chunk of damage. Nice tech. Oh, wow, Thompson's defense is so good. He's defended that run cancel mix up off of a normal every time. He's DP'd or tried to DP every time Raven jumps, more or less. And here he teched the throw. Like, if you're Raven, you must be thinking, man, this guy's defense is strong. It's hard to not be frustrated when your opponent constantly techs every throw and DPs every jump like that. It's mental damage that adds up over time. Ask any player who plays against a good player regularly, where it feels like you can never hit them because they just always somehow block and defend correctly. It's quite a difficult thing to overcome in your head. You play worse because you can't stop thinking about it. Alright. And again, this control instinct, I think Raven is happy to just let this skull bounce and hit him a couple times. He has under 1 bar right now. Let's take a look at... It builds him 1, 2, 3. Look, he's already up to half a bar. And he gets to spend it on the shadow. Oh, no whiff punish could have got him around there. But it doesn't matter. Oh, wow. But Jago... Alright, Jago's an instinct. What can he do? Alright. Get in there and kill him, yes. Oh, he tried. Wow. That was definitely an accidental input. It was the right idea. This is at the very tippy toe of medium kick range that just somehow misses. And this DP came out of nowhere. I think it was definitely an input mistake. Wow. Smart from Raven there to get through the fireball. He really neutralized the game changer instinct there. That could have been a lot different.